What's going on, everyone? It's Alex here from Alex Physio. Today we're going to be going over 5 exercises that you can do if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. Welcome. For those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Alexander Kravich, a physiotherapist in Vancouver, British Columbia, and today we're going to be going over 5 exercises that you can do if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis or osteopenia. Osteoporosis, for those of you who don't know, is a condition characterized by decrease in the bone mineral density. There's a disconnect or an imbalance between the osteoblasts build, osteoclasts destroy. So when there's an imbalance or there's more bone destruction over bone formation, then that's when you can veer towards osteopenia and eventually osteoporosis if not managed well. Obviously, osteoporosis is affected by not doing a lot of activity, that's weight bearing, where you're putting load through the ground, through your upper or lower body, and also not having a diet high in calcium and vitamin D. Obviously, genetics play a role as well. So let's get right into it. The first exercise we're going to do is just a low back active range of motion extension. So what this looks like is you're going to put your hands on your pelvis, and I just want you to try to work on arching your back and then coming back to the sternum. So arching the back and back to the start. Arch, back to the start. Very simple, just range of motion, trying to get some muscle activation in your low back and trying to work on positions that activate more extension. Okay, you can do this in standing, sitting, lying down, but we can just start it in standing for now. The next exercise we're going to do is a glute bridge. So what this is going to look like is you're going to lie down on your back. Knees are going to be bent to about 100, 110 degrees, feet on the ground. You're going to squeeze your bum muscles together. Knees are going to be slightly out as well to get a bit more range of motion. You're going to squeeze your bum muscles and you're just lifting your bum off the ground. Key is here that you're pushing your feet into the ground and squeezing your bum to, again, get a little bit of that force going through the ground. Lift up, squeeze. You should feel the muscles in your bum, also a little bit in your hamstrings as well, because they also help with this movement. And come back now. You don't need to work on trying to get up as high as possible. You're just trying to go enough until your hips are straight. Squeeze, hold for a second at the top, and come back now. If it's uncomfortable going to the floor and standing back up, you can also do this on your bed. It can be an easy exercise to incorporate as part of your day-to-day. You can do a set or 2 before you get out of bed and another set or 2 before you go to sleep, because that way you're already lying on your back. Exercise 3, we're going to do a sit to stand. So this is similar to a squat movement. We're going to work on slowing the descent as we come down. We're going to sit, and then we're going to push down into the ground with our feet, lean forward, and stand back up. And when we stand back up, we're trying to drive our hips forward, squeeze our bum muscles to the top, so that our hips are straight, and then reverse the order. So you can have your hands in front to act as a counterbalance. So you're pushing your bum back, keep your back nice and straight, sit, nice and slow, and lean forward and stand back up. Again, pushing your feet down on the ground. The key here, that when you're trying to sit, you're not just plopping down into the chair, you're really trying to work on controlling that descent, and you'll feel that in your quadricep muscles as you're coming down. Nice and controlled, lean forward. Try not to use too much momentum. Leaning forward and squeeze at the top. Obviously, from a safety perspective, you want to try to use a chair that is a little bit more sturdy and not the desk chair that I just demonstrated. If you're having difficulty with that, you can raise the height of the chair, either by putting some pillows on the seat, or if you have a chair with armrests as well to start off with as you work on building up some of the strength. Okay, so that's exercise number 3, the sit to stand. Exercise number 4, we're just going to do a wall push-up. Okay, so the way this is going to look like is you're going to put both hands on the wall, hands at about shoulder height, and you're going to stay on your toes. You're going to lean your body towards the wall, and as you're doing that, you're squeezing your shoulder blades back. You're going until your forehead touches the wall, and then push off the wall and come back to the start. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades, touch until your forehead touches, elbows pointed out at about a 45 on your tiptoes. Squeeze your bum muscles, squeeze your core muscles, and then push off and round at the top. Again, if this is easy, then you can try doing it off a table or a countertop. Basically, the more your body is parallel towards the floor, the more challenging it is. So here I'm pretty upright, so it's not as much load or as much strength demand is required for my muscles, but as I get more parallel towards the floor, so as the surface gets lower and lower, the exercise becomes more challenging. So this is of course where you just kind of tailor it based on what you can and can't tolerate and what level you are at. Okay, that's exercise 4, the wall push-up. Exercise 5, we're just going to do a shoulder blade squeeze and working on some thoracic extension. So what this is going to look like, you can have your arms out in front just to give you a little bit more cueing and a little bit more control. You're starting with your arms in front and you're just trying to think about squeezing your shoulder blades together. So you're squeezing your shoulder blades together and then coming back to the start. This is also good because it's trying to work on improving the strength in some of the muscles in your back. That can help from a posture perspective if we spend lots of time in that hunch forward, shoulder blades rounded. Just trying to work on nice and tall, so squeezing our shoulder blades together and then coming back to the start. Again, this is just with body weight, so obviously it's going to be relatively easy for some people who find it easy. Some people might be challenging to start off with, but as that gets easier, then the next level would be doing it with some resistance. So either having a band at the gym or a pulley system where you're trying to pull and have weight, you're holding on to weight and you're pulling your shoulder blades with that weight to increase the demands. But this is just a good way to start off with and try to work on those postural muscles and stay in a bit more extension. These are exercises that are more based on extension. So sometimes movements that require rounding of your back, sometimes that could be a little bit more irritable and there's a little bit more load that goes through the bones. So this is sometimes movements that are generally discouraged. Not to say it's necessarily a bad movement, it's just with people who have osteoporosis, because the bones are more brittle, then sometimes even very subtle movements such as bending forward and picking something up from the floor or a sneeze can induce a fracture in the higher severity of osteoporosis. So it's just important to try to work on strengthening the muscles and trying to work more extension based and then incorporating some of those other exercises based on how you are feeling and how conditioned and how strong your body is. There you have it. We went over 5 exercises for osteoporosis. We went over the glute bridge, we went over the wall push-up, we went over the shoulder blade squeezes, we went over the sit to stand, and we went over the low back extension. Let me know what you thought about some of these exercises down in the comments below. Have you ever been diagnosed with osteopenia or osteoporosis? How has your journey been, and what are some things that have helped with your management of your symptoms so far? Obviously, there's no cure to osteoporosis. It's more so about managing the symptoms and managing the decline in our bone mineral density, because everybody is going to have some level of bone mineral density loss as they get older. The key though is to try to slow down the progression and doing things such as focusing on your diet, calcium, vitamin D, supplements, and also just strengthening the muscles in a weight-bearing position, and the bones and ligaments in the joints is going to be very important for you as you move forward. So hopefully you found this video informative. If you found this video valuable, please check out some of my other videos. I have almost 475 videos on various physio, exercise, and medical related topics. And until then, we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.